Hello everyone, welcome to Canteen Cup. My name is Scott, and what a beautiful fall day. I took my dogs out this morning. It was about 55 degrees. Oh, looks like this year we may actually have some kind of a fall. I'm hoping anyhow. That being said, was walking through my property and noticed that changes are happening. Again, we're still trying to populate. As you can see, I still have a lot of bare spots and we're still trying to populate it, but things are starting to grow. And so I thought I'd take a couple minutes and maybe show you a few things that are growing here. This, which is on its way out, these are radishes. And there's more over here and here. And we grew a lot of these. What's good about them is, oh, here's a good one right here. What's good about them is they go deep into the ground and they help break up the soil. That's why we planted those. We didn't plant them for eating, but they are trying to break up the soil. Also too, if you look down here, these little plants, that is buckwheat starting to grow. And I think I'll just keep this pointed around instead of twisting back and forth. Here's some more. And some more. And we planted that because it's a nitrogen fixer. This reddish stemmed plant here and back here, that's pokeweed. It is a pioneer plant. It's one of the plants that comes in when the ground has either been burned or cleared, and they help establish a root system. And the root system is important because as you break up the soil, it holds more water, and then the more water it holds, the more stuff will grow. This, I believe, I know it looks like corn, but it's not. It's either a sorghum or a hemp, and that is something my wife planted. Again, it's a nitrogen fixer, and it helps break up the soil. And we've got that starting to come up. All right. Just walking through. Here's a little oak. We've got several of those kind of growing. I believe that's a white oak. It may be a post oak, but it's probably a white oak. And we have a couple of those growing. Here's another one popping up. And so that's kind of interesting. Again, here's some more of that. It's either a sorghum or a hemp plant growing. Here's some more of it, some of that we planted. Didn't come up during the summer, but it's starting to come up now. Again, there's some more buckwheat. All right, again, oh yeah, let's see, let's go over here. This plant, get a little closer here so you can see it. There's some more back there. This is called burnweed, and again, it's what they call a pioneer plant. It grows to kind of fill the void of vacant properties. This plant has some, it's edible. The leaves are a rather pungent smell, and you can either eat them raw or you saute them in butter or oil. There is some medicinal use for this. It's good for treatment of poison ivy and other skin irritations when used as a poultice. So we have that growing up here quite a bit, so that's pretty exciting. This is wild grape, which is something I've kind of learned to hate. And again, you can see here where the pokeweed is starting to die out, and here's a real tall one, and the burnweed is starting to come in. So as the seasons change, you know, so does some of our flora. Let's see what else is growing here. I don't know if I can still find it, but I have a couple plants called wild quinine, and it is just what it says. It contains quinine, which was back in the like World War I, World War II, was used to treat malaria, and they were worried about running short, and they discovered wild quinine. I think the Indians even may have used it. All right, coming over here, I have to look at these pretty close. I believe this is red maple. I've got red maple and I've got Sweetgum, and when they're young they both look really similar, but I think this is the beginnings of red maple here and here. And so we are growing. Our red maples are coming up, and we'll have to be careful not to have too many of those, because we want to put other things on the property. All right, cruising along, just trying to see what else we got. This here is very young tulip poplar, and you can see by the leaf shape. I think it's the only tree that has this type of leaf, this little indent here. But that's tulip poplar. It's a softwood. It grows straight, and it grows rather large. I think it's one of the tallest trees in the southeast when it gets to full height, and they grow nice and straight. All right, so again, just kind of cruising around, taking a look at some of the stuff we have. Again, I believe that's more red oak there. And then, oh, over here, that is young sweetbriar. Hadn't turned yet. And then this. I have no idea where this came from and why it's growing so late in the season, but this I believe is a watermelon plant. We didn't plant any watermelon, but by golly, here's one. Maybe a bird brought it as a gift. Somewhere over here somewhere is where I had some of that wild quinine. I don't see it now. It may have already died off. All right, again, more briar. A lot of tulip poplar growing, which is interesting. All right, another oak. Maybe a white oak, maybe a water oak. Sometimes when they're small, the leaves are very similar. This is our mulch pile that we got. We got this from a tree service, and that's about 5.5 foot tall. Lots of mulch, and we're just letting that kind of cook. All right. I don't see much else overly exciting, but you know, this is the time of year when things start dying out and when other things start coming in. Again, here's my radish crop, and then over right there is a hugelkultur mound, and then my wife started another one over here. And then in the back there, back right over here is a large mound of a mixture of dirt and stems and branches, and that'll be used. We're just gonna let that decay. Boy, if it keeps cooling off, I can start working on this and getting this worked down. We're going to start cutting it up for firewood and get it stacked. We may not use it this year, but it'll be ready for next year. And so, trying to see what else we have here. Just kind of walking around the house, but things are changing. All right, where you can see some confusion about things is that's a Sweetgum. And what's good about Sweetgum is it has antiviral properties, it has antifungal properties, it's good for your mouth health, and it is generally a pretty good plant. Here we go. Here's the two. If you look, the one on the left, there's a red oak, not a red oak, a red maple, and then you have a Sweetgum. When they're young, they're kind of similar, but you can see this gets more notches in it. But when they're babies, see, here's a young. That's a young red maple there. You can kind of see where, when they're babies, they can be a little hard. That looks like another, that's a black oak, I believe, that's growing. One of the ways it tells, it's got little, like, needle-like things on the end there. And then here's a tulip poplar. The leaves on a tulip poplar can vary in size, and these are actually pretty big. They're about the size of my hand, as you can see. So, but things are growing. Things are probably getting ready to die. It's that time of year. I was hoping, here's a sweet briar. It's a little more mature. So I have to look this up, but I believe this is some wild quinine. I believe that's what that is. I'm not absolutely positive. But that's kind of what it looks like. If you hang on a second, I'll get my phone out. I have an app on my phone, and it's called iNaturalist. And you can take a picture of something like I'm gonna do, and then it'll help you identify it. All right. They're not sure if this could also be bone set. Yeah, could be bone set. I was wrong. I've got some around here, not very much, but that's why I'm not very good at identifying. There's only a couple. I've only seen a couple plants. All right. That's just kind of a quick walk through in the fall foliage. I was hoping I could still see some sassafras, but I think it's gone already. I don't remember seeing it very much in the past couple days. But I've got a lot of sassafras on the property. Of course, a lot of briar. There's some more sweet briar here. It's when it gets a little older, it starts changing a little bit. I also have Pipsissewa, which is further back in the woods, and I'm not going back there till more of the bugs die. I've had a couple bouts of chiggers, and they just drive me crazy. You kind of get used to them, but even after you get used to them, they still... Yeah, I'm not seeing any sassafras, so it must have already died off. It's a spring and summer plant. I usually have a lot of it growing, I just don't see it. Also too, we have goldenrod. I believe that's some goldenrod right there. Here is probably one of the last remaining, that's sassafras. They used to make root beer out of it, and then they found it had a carcinogen, and then they quit, and they use something else now. But that's that has some medicinal properties. All right, and then this is that there's some goldenrod. All right, well I went a little long today, and really just wanted to kind of show you what's going on around here in the fall, that things are changing, things are growing. I planted a lot more seed in that back 40, and hopefully I'll get some more cover. And like I was saying before, goldenrod does have some medicinal properties. I know it drives people crazy with the allergies, it does me, but it is good for something. I just don't recall off the top of my head, but it's pretty easy to find. See, I've got some coming up right here. All right, everyone, that's all I got. You all enjoy the fall. I know I am. Stay safe and stay secure, and we'll see you.